Today's topic is handling customer service. It's the last in the series of the theme customer service, which is the theme for this week. Don't try to tell a customer what he wants. With this, is customer complaints an avoidable myth? Complaints often arise because a service has failed to meet the expected desires. Studies have shown that unhappy customers most times complain to others and take their business elsewhere. By managing complaints and resolving them quickly will result in improved processes and repeated businesses for those who are involved. The development of a complaint policy in an institution following basics help create positive experiences for students and make them feel loyal and appreciation. The development of such policies reassures them of a commitment to resolving issues and feedbacks in a fair, timely, and efficient manner. However, such policies should specify modalities for making formal complaints, identify steps required towards discussing, addressing, and resolving complaints in the institution. It should also indicate some of the solutions available to resolve seemingly repeated complaints. Reassuring students of a commitment to improvement requires a teamwork, as your most unhappy students are your greatest source of learning, because from their complaints we all improve on the service we provide. A glimpse at a customer's complaint, the first thought or reaction probably is, oh, another negative feedback. That's great. Now, let's see how I can improve. Often, it feels better to be praised than to be criticized. It takes an easy and negative feedback, especially for the average person who is usually super focused on perfecting their service. Most customers don't realize it. There's a need to establish a plan for responding to complaints. The following basic help to create positive experiences and make students feel loyal and appreciated. We all need to work as a team. Both the academics and the non-teaching personnel must be informed on handling scenarios such as angry emails, which is getting more popular with modern day technology, policy disputes, and discounts requests to ensure that responses are delivered consistently and confidently. It is important to find the complaints, identify them before they are tossed on you. We should realize that we cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. This is a quotation from Albert Einstein. With the modern day technology, customers tend to make complaints online. This could be adopted as a last resort. It is essential to ensure that contact details such as email addresses and phone numbers are steadily accessible to customers, as they serve as outlets for feedbacks. However, it may be easier to strike a conversation which may elicit a complaint by sending post-service emails, surveys, and feedback mechanisms. By taking this proactive approach, handling complaints will be easier and more practicable. Furthermore, you can automate such handling with existing software programmed for the completion at the end of each service. Softwares raise alerts about poor service or negative feedback There are many and varied types in the modern day market, as they all ensure timely response. The sole reason why we are in business as academics is to make life less difficult for our students. By listening and acknowledging these two initial steps towards the resolution of complaints, conversations can take place in person or on the phone, but it does not review on social media, and that is more in place these days with technology development. Every complaint must receive timely attention. In the current digital and social world, it is easy to access students through this means, especially when the lectures have been online in most cases. The simple act of listening and acknowledging views could be therapeutic enough to resolve the problem. Both give opportunity to focus on the solution, and a lack of understanding or misinformation could have contributed to this complaint. Both acts of listening and acknowledging their views will help to learn more about the service and might help settle the customer's emotions. The watchword is to keep both acts short and attempt to shift away from the conversation towards the solution to the problem discussed. The cautious thing to note is not to make promises that cannot be fulfilled. An explanation of possible reactions assures a student or a customer that the feedback received is valued and will be accorded necessary consideration. Most times, in the bid to expect immediate prompt response to mails or social media platforms, customers can be notified that their complaints are being investigated where an immediate response is not possible. The failure to provide an immediate response or a nonchalant attitude gives a wrong impression of the service. With technological advancements, can be directed to complete a contact us on a web form, which triggers an email with a response to signify that the complaint has been received and receiving attention. Some of us must have been familiar with this, especially if you shop online or you have used to online services. You send a mail, it tells you, banks in Nigeria are very used to this. Tells you, your customer, what can we do for you? Ask me. There are so many varieties of software available. They all reassure that the complaint did not disappear into a black hole. The students can be contacted because by now we expect that being an online environment, you have access to their emails, phone numbers, and whichever social media platform that have been adopted, and they can be satisfied knowing that their complaint was handled. They should also be known to see that their complaints can be avoided in the future by showing enough interest and commitment to resolving them. Encourage your students to provide feedbacks so that they know that their complaints are acknowledged, and when there is a problem, they will give you the opportunity to solve it. Some students could be a bit nasty and rude. Some really angry ones sometimes vent their frustrations. Do give them a chance to do so, as long as they are not using obscenities or abusive language. The positive way out of this circumstance, such as this, is to remain calm and in control. Above all, remember that the complaint may not be personal, except if specifically stated. As an initial step, change the tone of the conversation dramatically and acknowledge the decision to report the problem, giving you time to look through it and resolve it. When the customer is calm and feels heard, ask questions which may need or elicit more information about the complaints. However, avoid speaking in scripted responses and use the incident as an opportunity to start a genuine conversation which may result in a trusting relationship from both ends. Some complaints could be stressful, uncomfortable, time-consuming, or just plain annoying. Nevertheless, such complainants deserve a measure of appreciation. Every complainant takes time and energy to express ways which may improve the service they desire. The offer of a solution or a possible alternative goes a long way to ease the pain. This can only take place after you have taken enough and sufficient details on the complaints reported. However, know what you can and what you cannot do within the approved guidelines. Making promises you cannot commit to will only result in a setback, and offering a solution necessitates being courteous and respectful. Let the complainants, in this case our students, they should be made aware that the receipt of the complaint is receiving the necessary attention towards providing a problem. If you need the help of somebody in another department who is better equipped to fix it, make the transition smooth by explaining to them, and you don't need to repeat the story, or the complainant does not have to go through the story all over again, because there's a smooth transition between you and the person who is going to resolve. Every complaint must receive a timely attention. This is very important. In the current digital and social world, accessibility is the key. The simple act of listening and apologizing is therapeutic enough to resolve the problem. The ideal action to take is to focus on the solution. The watchword is to keep both acts short attempts to shift the conversation from the problem towards the solution. We provided 2 videotapes of day-to-day life examples of handling complaints. Please take time and review both videos as they serve as example of what we can see on everyday life, not necessarily in school, but at any time you need to meet a complainant. Thank you so much. Bye.